Women could live longer and better if more research and more money was spent on understanding the #1 killer in women, which is heart disease.
Joining us right now to discuss the importance of investing in women's health research is the actress Susan Lucci, one of our favorites. Hi, Susan.
And hi, Rosanna. Hi, Bianca.
And Dr. Stacey Rosen, who always comes on and talks about heart health for women. Susan, I think what a lot of people don't remember is that you had your own heart scare, and that's how you're involved with this organization right now. Tell us a little bit about what happened to you.
Yes, 3 years ago, practically to the day, I had a heart event that I could not ignore. I had 2 episodes earlier in the month, and I did say, oh, it's nothing, it'll go away, as most of us women do. But then the 3rd time, I couldn't ignore it, and I went to the hospital, to St. Francis on Long Island, and found that I had a blockage in 2 of my arteries, 90% blockage in my major artery and 75% blockage in an adjacent artery. This came as a tremendous shock to both Dr. Schlafmitz and to myself, because I had no health issues. My reports had always been, the doctor would write on there, excellent, great. And so we were very surprised when I found that out. And so that is just, it's just a good example that this can happen to anyone, even if you think you're in great health. It's good to pay attention to your symptoms. Even going to the hospital, even though I had this event, I thought, I can't do this. I have too much to do today. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I think that's the major problem that we as women have. It becomes a problem when you ignore your own health.
Absolutely.
So I'd say to women, put yourself on your to-do list, and if your body isn't behaving the way you know it should, go to the very top of that to-do list.
I know. And, you know, Dr. Rosen, especially after COVID, where everybody was kind of on lockdown and putting their own health just on the side, trying to get through this pandemic safely, you have some new information.
Yeah, no, listen, we know that 51% of Americans are female. And despite that, when we looked at the last 10 years of research done in heart disease, as Susan said, the #1 killer, fewer than 40% of participants were female. And when you look at certain forms of heart disease, it's even lower than that. So this report today that was put out by WHAM, Women's Health Access Matters, and supported by the American Heart Association's Go Red and other organizations, looks interestingly about the economic imperative of increasing research for women. And the study found, and it's really a fascinating new way to look at it, that with even modest increases in the amount of research that goes to study unique issues related to coronary artery disease, blockages in the heart, as Susan described, we have enormous impact on women's health, leading to women having longer, healthier lives, fewer years of heart disease and medical illnesses from heart disease, and that keeps them in the workforce longer. So the economic and societal arguments to really increase funding for women's research is one of the extraordinary outcomes from today's report.
Dr. Rosen, I think one thing that definitely stood out in that report is that 4.5% of that total research, which you're saying is still not enough, those research dollars spent on women, it amounts to about, you know, a couple cents per woman, but it goes to about $4 for men. How is that inequality? How has that been able to go on so long, and what do you think needs to happen for that to change so we're spending more of that research dollars and that money on women?
Now, how outstanding are those numbers, 17 cents versus $4? You know, historically, we had a male model of healthcare, research, medical practice. So we studied men. We included men in research. We even included male rats and cells and not females. And we just assumed that men, whatever we discovered in men, would be the same for women. But traditionally, that model doesn't work. We know that men are not the same as women. Women are not small men with pesky hormones. Instead, women need to be studied uniquely, and the funding to support understanding the unique needs related to women, prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of heart disease has these enormous societal and economic impact.
And Susan, as you're a part of this Go Red movement, what are some of the things that women can kind of look out for just to make sure that they're checking in with themselves? Maybe some red flags that may arise that are indicators that, all right, get yourself to the doctor ASAP.
Well, women historically can have different symptoms than men. So whatever you've heard about a symptom for a man may not apply to you as a woman. So if your body is not behaving the way it normally does, I, for example, did not normally walk around with chest pains, and they radiated around my rib cage to my back. I lied to myself at first and thought, oh, I probably have on a new bra. I knew I didn't, and it wasn't too tight, but I just was trying to dismiss it. Women do that. Also be aware of your family history, of your DNA. That's really important. I didn't pay attention to that. I should have. That's something that women can do. So know your health risks. And also, I would say, please, I was so lucky, and I wanted to pass my good luck on. And part of that good luck that I can pass on is the platform that I've been given by Go Red for Women. And you can go join us both by going to goredforwomen.org/research funding. That's really important. It takes an act of Congress. Not until 1993 did they mandate female mice in research.
Wow.
And now only 17 cents go for women and $4 for men. As we said, we don't want to take anything away from men. They are important in our lives, but we are also important in theirs.
Absolutely.
And so we need to have research for the women too.
I know you and Helmut. I mean, you've been married a long time. I mean, a lot of people look to you to see what the secret of your marriage is, because you're such terrific partners for one another. And he was there when you were feeling uncomfortable. Was he the one who kind of encouraged you to get to the hospital? Or did you say, Helmut, I feel like I got an elephant on my chest?
Actually, Helmut wasn't with me. If I had been home, I would not. It was the middle of the day, so I would have been by myself. And I probably would have thought, oh, I just need to drink some water and lay down. I'll be okay. And probably would not have gotten up. So actually, I was at the Americana Shopping Center getting a birthday present for a friend. And the manager of this shop, who I knew for a long time, noticed that I had sat down on a bench and came up and asked if I was all right. Very calmly, she said, let me take you to St. Francis. It's right down the street. And down the road. And she was very calm. I learned later that not only was she the manager of the boutique, but she had a degree in nursing.
Wow.
So she was very, very calm. This was not... I didn't even have a cardiologist or a doctor who I would know to call, but my husband has AFib. So I knew about Dr. Schlafmitz at St. Francis, and he saved my life.
Wow. We're so happy that he did, because we love you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you too, and love how you focus on New York. I love this, your broadcast in the morning.
Dr. Stacey, before we go, give us a few tips out there if somebody's watching. How can we put a little bit more heart health into our everyday lives?
No, absolutely. Know that 90% of women and men have some risk factor for heart disease, and the disease is 80% preventable. So really learn more about your family risk, your other personal risks for heart disease. Find a physician to stick with who you trust, and really do the simple things that you can repeat over and over to prevent what happened to Susan, and certainly to learn more about signs and symptoms and when to take care of yourself. Put yourself, as she said, to the top of your list. But this research funding is critical. And going to the goredforwomen.org site /research funding is important, because for women to participate in trials will give all of us more information, more opportunities to prevent heart disease in the future.
Great advice. We're going to go take a look at that website right now. Susan Lucci, Dr. Stacey Rosen, we always appreciate you coming on Good Day.
What they're doing, you guys make my heart full. At least I feel that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Stay well.